Hello, my name is Carl, I'm 2 Echo 0 Echo Zulu Tango, and in this video I'm just going to talk about probably one of the most expensive DMR radios on the market. I've had the RFinder B1 now for a few weeks. I wanted to do a mini review of the radio, but I wanted to use it for a few weeks first before I can give an honest opinion. So this video is just my thoughts, my review of the RFinder B1 DMR radio. So, strangely enough, for somebody who doesn't like DMR radio, I've probably purchased one of the most expensive DMR radios on the market. It's actually two radios in one. It's a dual band FM DMR radio, so 2 meters 70 centimeters, but it also has, it's a mobile phone as well. It's an Android phone. You do all the things like Bluetooth, all of those things that you would get on a normal mobile phone, but it's got a dual band radio attached to it, so it's two phones in one. The actual DMR, or the radio bit of it, you access that particular part of the radio system using the RFinder app, and once you get into the app, then it gives you the ability to either draw down the existing repeaters from a cloud database, or you can add your own repeaters or frequencies such as a hotspot. But I've also put into this the simplex frequencies for 2 meters FM, so I can use it as a simplex radio. What I found so far though is when I pull down the repeaters based on my GPS location, a lot of those repeaters don't have a tone for opening the repeater up that's set at 0. I have to manually go in and change the tone to the correct tone for it to open, and when I push that change up into the cloud to get verified to change that memory in the cloud, it doesn't seem to be changing it. So it's one thing I need to figure out, because it makes it quite awkward to just jump onto a repeater and just chat away, because I have to then go and find what the tone is to open that particular repeater. It allows you to get on DMR repeaters, FM repeaters 2 and 70. It allows you to widen the GPS diameter, because the higher you get, the more chance you've got of getting more distant repeaters. From that, you know, and once you actually get onto a repeater, it works really well. The audio works really well. Transmit and receive works really good. The squelch is really good. I find that the switching the actual radio bit on through the app, it's a little red button there. I find that sometimes you think you've turned the radio on, but it hasn't come on. But when you do turn it on, you hear like a click, like we just heard. And that should kick in now. One of the things that really interested me in the radio and led me to actually purchase the radio was the robust design. It's really, and when you feel it in your hands, you know that you've got a well-designed case and hardware. It's really bulky, really heavy. The glass and the design of the radio is waterproof. The battery is well sealed. So when you open this up, you really have to make sure that it's sealed when you put your SIM card in. So that really attracted me to the radio, the actual design of it, and from that point of view, I've got absolutely no problems with the radio at all. It's one of those things that, for me, I tend to do most of my radio outdoors. I do radio from inside the house, but for me, I do like just to get out there in the mud and try things out. So the design of it did appeal to me, and when it arrived, I knew as I unboxed it that I got a good radio in my hands. The way I see this is almost like a Swiss Army knife of communication, because I've got all the normal functions of a mobile phone. I can make a mobile phone, which is a radio. I can make mobile phone contacts. I can send text, MMS messages, emails. I can go on the internet. But then I can also have apps like Zello and Peanut and all those radio over internet VoIP type apps. And then I can turn the radio on and jump on to FM and DMR. So it is a good all-round communications device. One of the things that I really have found that this does better than my normal everyday carry around phone is that the mobile phone antenna in here is actually better than my normal phone. So when I'm out in the Peak District, I found that actually where my Samsung phone gets zero signal on the O2 network, this, which is on giffgaff, which is O2 but just rebranded, I can get up to 4G. So there's a difference, the receive on this on the mobiles to the receive on my normal Samsung. It's a big difference, and for me that's really important because I do like getting out in the middle of nowhere, but I need to be contacted because the business that I run, I need to know that the systems that we manage for healthcare systems are working, and I need to be contacted. So having the confidence that wherever I go I've got the ability now of being contacted, that is important as well. I think these are good all-round devices, radios and communication devices, not just for amateur people just to have fun with. I think they've got the ability to be used in much more serious situations, maybe in sort of disaster relief, maybe. There may be devices already on the market that cover that area, but they are the versatility and design, I think, lends itself quite well to that area. As a matter of support from the developer, I think Bob Greenberg, there's a Facebook group, he's very responsive. When I first bought the phone, like any DMR radio, there's an upward learning curve. There's a very steep learning curve of DMR compared to many other standards of radio, and DMR has a habit of making you feel foolish really quickly, and the same happened on this radio trying to set up the hotspot and trying to get into local repeaters. But with the help of Bob and the people on the Facebook group, I was able to get the phone up and running, get the radio up and running without any major problems. You can download the update for the firmware over the air rather than having to plug it into a computer. You have to charge this using the desktop charger. You can't just charge it normally, which is a bit of a pain. If you're out for 24 hours or so, you're relying on the battery power, unless you take all of the power supply, unless you take all the charging stuff with you, which I don't do. So value for money, I tend to see value for money with radios in the amount of money you spend divided by the amount of contacts that you've made on it. So if you spend £100 and make 100 contacts, it's £1 a contact. So from that point of view, it's not good value for money for me at the moment if I purely just went radio contacts. However, that's partly because I'm not a big DMR fan, and part of the issue is that on the local repeaters or even on simplex, you can put a call out on the FM repeaters and you'll get nothing back, and we've seen that on a few videos now where I've put calls out and I've got nothing back on it. What you will find though, if you're into DMR or you're into dropping into places like HubNet, which is fantastic. I do really appreciate what HubNet is. It's not the kind of thing that I do every day. I don't drop into HubNet and have a chinwag about stuff. I just don't operate that way. So at the moment, it's not gaining the value for money that I'd hope it would. However, we're going to calculate the value of it by how much money you spend compared to how much time you spend using it. Then yes, it's a decent investment, because I can do my amateur radio fun on that. I can also do work on it. I can be in contact with the family. I can, you know, do all my emails. So it's a good all-round device from that point of view, and you're more likely to use a radio if it's with you every day, all day, rather than you get to somewhere and you go, oh, I wish I'd brought my radio with me. I could have done a bit of radio while I've got half an hour spare. Well, actually, this will be in the bag going, oh, I've got a radio. So, you know, from that point of view, you know, the radio's at your side more often. So from that point of view, I quite like that. One of the downsides I find about this radio is that the dual band radio isn't really accessible to more apps or to other parts of the Android system. An example of that would be APRS Droid. You can download APRS Droid. You can get APRS through internet, but what you can't do is actually turn the radio on and feed the audio from the radio bit through the APRS Droid, and vice versa. Maybe one day, maybe that's something that's in the pipeline, that you can actually access the radio features through other types of ham radio apps. I'm not sure yet. So all in all, I'm really impressed with this. I do know that the money that I've spent is well spent. I have really benefited from using this when I've been out in the Peak District and my normal phone is rendered useless. It can be a torch, and that's about it. Whereas this, I'm able to communicate, play radio, and use a very nice torch on it as well. So RFinder B1, yeah, I think it's definitely worth it. It looks really smart as well, I must admit. I think it does look smart. So yeah, I hope that you found that was useful. If I've missed anything and you know more about the B1 than I do, just drop some notes in the comments below, and we can share that with other people that might be interested in this. The Facebook group is really friendly. I know Facebook groups can sometimes be a bit of a bun fight, but the chaps on Chap Essies on the RFinder Facebook group are decent, so don't be afraid to say hello to them. So many thanks to Bob, who was behind the design of this, and I hope to have much more fun with the radio. So bye bye for now.